Right now.
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 Because it's time to right now.
I have a dream that my characters are going to have the most incredible scene today. I am stoked. I woke up this morning feeling so fired and so ready, thinking about my characters and the scene that I'm working on, and I just knew. I knew in my heart exactly what was the next piece of dialogue, action, and interiority that I had to write today. Welcome to the community. Today, we're going to be doing not one, not two, but 3 writing sprints. So if you need to get some writing done, I got you covered. We're definitely going to be playing into it. I know I need to be working on some of my story, The Last Scarecrow. We'll chat in between and check in on writing progress during the breaks. And that's what we're doing. So welcome to the Right Now community. I'm Kaufman. I'm on a mission to help the writers with the process, lifestyle, and mindset that it takes to be an author. Because as we all know, friends, it's a journey. So let's see. Today's episode 266, day 395, I think 395 of consecutive writing stream. So come join us because we're starting right now. All right, my friends. Penumbra, welcome back. Welcome back, my friend. Good to see you back in this stream. I would love to hear, what are you working on today? Drop it down in the comments. I'd love to hear. And ML, welcome back, my friend. Hope all is well. It was great having you on our writers group yesterday. Our writers group last night was pretty fun. I love when everybody hops on the stream. It's always such a great experience. Hey, what's up, Tiara? Welcome. You're getting to enjoy the day off, hopefully getting in some good writing vibes, all the stuff. Glad to have you in here, my friend. And I know that you're working on an anthology, right? A story for an anthology. So it sounds like you're probably really having to push yourself as well right now to get your stuff out. Hey, what's up, Courtney? Sounds like you've been making some awesome progress with Falling. And with that being said, let's get into the first writing sprint. You know what? I kind of got to get like the writing mojo and the writing brain fired up. You guys see, I already have my setup here. We're going to start off with our first sprint, which will be a 25-minute sprint. During the sprints, I've started moving towards, I won't hop on the mic during the sprints, but I will join you guys in the comments if you want to chat or have any questions. However, I'm going to try to really get myself to focus. I know exactly what I need to work on today. It's all right, perfect. And hey, what's up, Gillian? Welcome. Hey, this is my first time joining your stream. I've got a fanfic I'm trying to get back to. I've had a break from writing and I'm struggling to get back into it. Well, Gillian, you've come to the right place. We stream every single day, and the Right Now community is so incredibly supportive and very, very helpful with just helping you stay motivated. I would love to hear, what type of fan fiction are you working on? On every other Saturday, our live stream is a critique show where writers from the community actually submit excerpts of their stories for live feedback. And I've probably done about 200 critiques so far, and I've gotten a number of fan fictions. I want to say the last one we did, I got a One Piece fan fiction. I think I've gotten a My Little Pony fan fiction one time. We got a Harry Potter. I know I've gotten a couple other sporadic ones, but we definitely get fan fiction. I think fan fiction is phenomenal because I think it's a great way for writers to practice the craft of writing while still they don't have to worry about world building as much. They just get to practice character development, and it really helps grow skill building. So love to hear more about that. Drop that in the comments. TR, yes, it got officially announced on Tuesday. What's up? All right, TR, that means we both have some work to do. And Nil in the house. Welcome, my friend. All right, my friend. So let's hop into it. We're going to hop into our first writing sprint, and then we'll talk about some writing stuff during the break. So as you can see, I got 25 minutes on the clock. I'll throw up some music. Whether you are brainstorming, writing, or editing, that is all part of the process. Come join us. I hope you're ready because it's time to write now. All right, writing sprint done. Writing sprint done. All right, wonderful. So the first writing sprint out of the way. That was great. I was actually very happy with what I accomplished on my writing sprint. I'm at a really fun part of this story right now because I've just introduced our third main character of the story, right? So I have Scarecrow and Mr. Crow, of course, who we've been with for the first third, and now we finally get our introduction to the lovable pixie Pebble. Pebble is a fire. No, what's the best way to describe her? Pebble is a handful of she's a handful of not aggression. She is a rush into the situation, fight now, deal with it later. She's a very put up your fists and fight, even though she's she's a pixie. She's a pixie who can't fly. She doesn't remember how to fly. She has the personality that is equivalent to creatures 20 times her size. So she has a very large personality, which I'm having so much fun at her intro. I think with the setup I have between her, Scarecrow, and Crow, I think it's come out pretty funny. And I kind of wanted to play off now that I've really upped Crow's eccentricity in this draft. I really wanted to play off her and Crow's eccentricity, but for two very different reasons. And I think the contrast is actually very funny because I want there to be a further established reason from the reader why she would want to go on with them to begin with. She of course is traveling to this next area, this garden, because she wants to play a prank on them for revenge over an imagined slight. So we're going to get to explore that. I'm doing great. How did that writing sprint treat you? Were you able to get some work in on your writing sprint? How many words were you able to get? Or maybe you got in some ideas. What did that look like? I'm hoping that we were all able to get some process done. What's up, Emma? Welcome. I saw you hop into the sprint, my friend. You're like, I'm working on the second draft of my nano project this evening. Ooh, that's exciting. Emma, remind me again, what's the story, or what's the gist of the story that you're working on now? That's awesome that you made some great project. You're the second draft of your nano project. That's awesome that you're able to make some pretty solid progress with NaNoWriMo. So that's really, really awesome. I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. Let's see. Penumbra, you're like editing a chapter where a mother and daughter who are both grieving the loss of the father and twin sisters are having a cold war because the mother is throwing herself into work instead of grieving. Dang, that sounds really intense. That sounds like a really, really intense story. Dealing with loss, and especially like dramatic stories like that, can be so challenging, but they can be so rewarding. So it sounds like you've embarked on a really fun little tale. That's very cool. Is that where I'm grieving the loss of her father are having a cold war? I'm curious, what genre is your book that you're working on, Penumbra? Is this like historical fiction? Because you say cold war, so it makes me think it's historical fiction. I'm kind of curious. So, but yeah, good for you. That's awesome. I was like, my genres I always stick to, as everyone knows, is always fantasy and sci-fi. This is always the ones. Let's see. Tiara, you're like 498 words. Yes. What is up? 498 words. Nice work, my friend. Taking a short break from my anthology piece to work on my new screenplay. Anytime, Tiara, that you talk about screenwriting, it always makes me miss my screenwriting, my scripts a little bit. It's been a hot second since I've gone through since I've worked on my screenwriting. I mean, I lived over in Hollywood for 10 years, and that's the only thing I worked on during that time was screenplays for a TV and film. And now I have a lot of screenplays in different stages, and it's definitely something I want to return to. But I've just been so motivated by Scarecrow this past year that I'm going to finish Scarecrow before I go back to anything else. I mean, when Scarecrow is being edited, I might finish up Hermes the Cat, depending on timing. So we'll see. But that's awesome. Emma has the best cozy romances. I love them. Aw, that is so cool, Emma. So that sounds like you're a fan over here. That's really, really cool, Penumbra. You're like, it's a contemporary romance, first in a series set in a Welsh seaside town as a bookshop and kittens. Ooh, who doesn't love kittens? Anytime we have kittens, the community loves them. It's interesting, of all the animals, like sometimes characters can get killed off in a story and nobody cares. But if like a cat or a dog, like a beloved cat or a dog dies, the readers or even a viewer is like in agony. Like you can't kill off the favorite cat or dog without evoking sympathy. Oh, that sounds really cute. That's awesome. Penumbra, like sci-fi fantasy dealing with loss during a war when they are so close to losing the war. Ooh, okay, that's cool. Sci-fi fantasy writer as well. Yeah, that sounds like that it's at that point in the story where the stakes are getting really, really intense, especially if they're dealing with such an intense level of loss. That's actually really, really cool. And I was like, do I have any war? And I mean, yeah, I was like, I don't have any wars in the first book of Scarecrow. There will probably be a war later on in the trilogy or series, depending on how far I go. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, the first one is really more like a single character journey. It's really more on a single character journey on the antagonist, but that's really interesting. That means you probably had to develop like a whole cast of characters, and you probably have like a really like well tuned story. It sounds really cool, Penumbra. Jillian, like I spent the sprint pre-writing. I think I have most of my current chapter figured out. Ooh, that's really cool. Brainstorming is always a great thing, especially when we're planning out. And sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't get any words done the writing sprint," and that's all right. Brainstorming is an absolutely great way because we still got to plan our stories. And I know when we had Shannon on yesterday, I know she was saying that she has a timer or she sets how long she does for her brainstorming sessions. I was like, that's actually really smart. That's something that I might start incorporating into after I wrap up Scarecrow and I start on the next book. I might incorporate like timing sessions for tracking how much I brainstormed, because that's actually really smart. Let's see, my fanfic is for the Has-Been Hotel series. Jillian, I love Has-Been. I absolutely love Has-Been. I think Has-Been was probably one of my favorite animated series of last year. Has-Been, I mean, granted, we know Has-Been's been around for many, many years, but what we saw, the season that came out was really awesome. So I'm a huge fan of Has-Been. I don't always read fan fictions, but that's one fan fiction style that I would read because I love, love, love Has-Been. I was like, who just doesn't love the Radio Demon? I mean, like, I think the Radio Demon is one of like the coolest, most fun antagonists, protagonists, antagonists. Oh man, yeah, Has-Been is such a great show. That's awesome. Let's see. By Cold War, I mean they're not talking for days at a time when the daughter yells at her mother, who just shuts off her emotions because she has too much work to do to win. Ah, gotcha. So it's like a metaphorical Cold War between them. That makes a little bit more sense. I absolutely love that. You're like, I volunteer as beta tribute. Oh, I love that. That is so cool. I start thinking of the same thing. I was like, am I gonna do beta readers for Scarecrow? I haven't decided. Actually, I pose this question to all you guys. Do you guys do beta readers for your stories? Do you guys always do beta readers? So actually, let's go. We have alpha readers and beta readers, right? Alpha readers, you do it earlier in the process, and an alpha reader is more like a writing professional or an editor or somebody who has writing expertise, whereas a beta reader is a reader who your story would be intended for. For those of you here in the chat, do you guys usually do beta readers for your stories? I'd love to hear. Julian, like, fanfic is great. I'm recovering from a years-long burnout, and fanfic and the community around it is really helping me enjoy writing again. Aw, that's so sweet to hear. Well, welcome back to writing. If you ever need writing motivation, this is definitely the place, Jillian. And by the way, if you're enjoying the stream, follow and subscribe. We're here every day with the Right Now community. 395 consecutive streams and counting. We have daily writing sprints. We have our author interview series with the Create Right Now podcast. We have the Story and Critique show with our stream where we critique stories from writers in the community. We have workshops, writers group, And we have mini seasonal events and with a book club, a fantasy romance fiction contest in the spring, and much, much more. So if you're ever looking for daily writing motivation, this is the place to be. So make sure you tap that follow and subscribe button right now. All right, my friends, wanted to make sure I got the subscribe in. Let's see. And all your guys' stories sound really, really cool. Penumbra, I love this trick. I don't care who dies as long as the pet lives. Most readers are like that. All right, my friends, that was awesome. So I'll queue up the beta alpha reader question for our next break, but let's get back into the writing. Okay, so let me see. So this is 25 minutes. I'm going to challenge us this time because we really need to get some work in. I know I do. I really need to get progress in. So we're going to up the 25 minutes to 30. Only adding 5 more minutes. I believe in us. I really want to finish my chapter that I'm working on with this, with the Pebble, with the Pixie, the Crow, and the Scarecrow. So I believe in us. We're going to do 30 minutes on the second sprint. I will throw up some music. Let me cue up the second banner. All right, perfect. And then we'll come back and we'll chat after the sprint. So whether you are brainstorming, writing, or editing, that is all part of the process. Come join us because it's time to write now. All right. Writing sprint number 2 completed. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How did that writing sprint treat you? Were you able to get any words in that time? What was the progress like on your end? Let me see. I'm curious. I was like, yeah, no, I'm making good progress. I'll check my word count at the end. But I feel like so far I'm making great progress. I'm having such fun in this scene. I I'm sure you guys can relate when you've been working on a part of your book for a while, or maybe sometimes when you've taken a break, and then you return to a section and you get to return to writing one of your favorite characters again. And I think I can tell I really, really, really missed working and developing the Pixie because she is such a handful. The Pixie is like such a handful of a character. And with the adjustments that I'm making to keep elevating her character in the second draft, I'm very happy with the direction that she's turning out to be. And like it's like the first draft, it's like I had the idea and the bare bone framework for each of these characters, and now with like Crow and then with Pebble the Pixie, it's their characters are just really coming to life, and I'm loving her introduction. They're way too much fun. So I think that was I'm just very happy with how they're being tuned up, and I'm sure you guys can relate. And I saw a couple of you guys hop in here. Miranda, Rita, great to have you in here, my friend. Jody, like, you'll be so proud of me. I created a website. Congrats. I know it takes time to put our websites together, but like, yes, that is what we need, right? To be able to advertise ourselves and the things we're doing and send people to a place. That's awesome. You're able to get a website together. And I sent you an email now that I'm not a walking zombie. Totally understandable. I'll definitely respond to it a little later. Jody, thanks for the heads up. Hey, what's up, Brianna? Hey, everyone, I'm glad I could join this sprint. Glad you could hop in. We're going to hop into our third writing sprint in just a little bit. So you still made good time. You'll be able to join us and get a little bit of writing in. How's the romance writing coming in for you? Are you working on a new series right now? Aw, thank you so much, Penumbra. I'm excited to read your book, Kaufman. You and me both. I am so excited to read it. Like, I've been working on, for those of you guys who've been in the community for a little while, I started working on Scarecrow at the beginning of last year when I challenged myself to do these writing sprints every day for a year. And Scarecrow really started with this image right here. So this image on the screen, the sunset, I just like pulled up this image randomly and did like a 2-page free write. And that's how Scarecrow was born. Really started it started in a field with a crow stealing the hat off a scarecrow. And then I kind of added some more adventures to it. And then by I would say about 30 to 45 days into my writing sprints, that's when I kind of got the idea. And I was like, okay, these are themes and this is the type of story I wanted to tell. And then I started fleshing the story out from there. And I love it. I mean, my goal with The Last Scarecrow is to deliver one of the best, one of the most fun action adventure stories that you haven't heard in a long time. When I've read the blurb out and from community members, I know community members have mentioned that there's like, it feels like it resonates like the Wizard of Oz meets the never ending story set in a post-apocalyptic landscape. I think that's kind of the vibe that I've heard from community members. So I'm very stoked. You guys know my goal is to try to finish this next draft in February. I feel pretty confident I can make a lot of progress. I'm doing well so far. And then if I can make the progress that I want to in February, then my goal will be to launch it in late spring before we hit summer. So fingers crossed. I know, right? The best part of being a writer is getting to read the book first. Yeah, I love it. I love every part of the process. I'm like looking forward to like going this, and every single time I get to a new section, I'm like, yes, now I get to further develop this previous section, which I know could be tuned up. So I'm like definitely looking forward to it. Every single part of the story, it's different. I want readers to keep experiencing like a new part of this world, for it to be fun and feel like it's a part of this really crazy world. Ooh, Brianna, you're like working on the first novella in my upcoming college romance series. Exciting. That's really, really exciting. That's a popular like slice of life that a lot of romance writers are working on right now. That's really, really cool. Hopefully, and it sounds like you're making some good progress with it, Brianna. That's awesome. Penumbra, like, okay, now I really need to read it. Thank you so much, Penumbra. I really appreciate that. Jillian, like, I was able to start writing last sprint and the words are flowing. Sadly, my connection keeps dropping in and out. Oh, well, upside, that's awesome. You're getting some writing in. I think if there's any one thing that I always like love encouraging is like, hey, as long as we're getting some writing in, whether it's brainstorming, writing, or editing, absolutely love that. Totally understandable. So I want to pose a question to y'all, which kind of came to me at the end of the last sprint. How do you guys deal with alpha and beta readers? I would absolutely love. Do you guys have, so once again, an alpha reader is like a writing, for anyone who doesn't know, an alpha reader is like an industry professional or like an editor or writing professional who will generally read your story and give feedback early on in the process. It usually happens before you hire the editor. And then the beta read is generally done through readers of your story, which is done kind of near the end of the process before proofing. So how do you guys have alpha and beta readers or one or the other for all parts of your story? Awesome. I just dropped that in as a Q&A. I was like very curious because I know I had some really great comments earlier. I know, Penumbra, you're like, I use both alpha readers and beta readers, which like, that's awesome. So it sounds like you really leverage both. I use my Inkit and Wattpad readers as free alpha readers. Oh, that's kind of that's an interesting idea. I know Inkit and Wattpad are two both very, very popular websites. I haven't explored either of them before, but I know they're both leveraged a lot. Absolutely. That's really, really cool. I know there's like a list of writing websites and resources that I want to be able to take advantage of. And I'm just not sure which. I'm not sure which ones I will, depending on what time I have to invest into a new platform and then what I'm looking for. Let's see. Emma, I have some people who read through my manuscript after second draft. I collect their feedback, implement, and send to my publisher. Oh, okay, that's awesome. So, and I mean, that's a good win-win with your publisher. So that way your manuscript's a little bit more fine-tuned, or the ideas are a little bit more fine-tuned by the time your publisher then has their editors working on it. That's actually a really smart idea because that shows that you're investing and trying to get readers experience. Your publisher probably loves you for that, Emma. That's actually it's a great working relationship. Emma, you're like, I use beta readers, but I need more of them. Yeah, and I was like, I think originally I was going to opt out of beta readers. I know I opted out of alpha readers. I feel pretty good, just based on, since I'm doing this as a live stream, I feel pretty good about that. I was like, I may opt in for a few beta readers or maybe arc readers. I'm kind of going back and forth on what I want to do. Or more arcs. I might do a few beta readers. I'm going to play it by year based on the feedback of whoever I have edit the book. So we'll play that by year. And I also really want to get this out on a certain timeline. So we'll see. Well, we'll definitely see. Jillian's like, pre-burnout, I was writing 7 novellas books a year, and I had 2 alpha readers that we would read each other's stuff. That's always a great strategy. Having somebody where you can work with, vice versa, where that's such a great like low cost strategy where like you read their stuff and then they read your stuff and you're able to get that feedback back and forth. And especially if both of you read in the same genre or readers of your style, that's actually really cool. Brianna, you're like, beta readers are the best. I've been able to connect with some via IG. They're avid readers in my genre, so they know the tropes and expectations and provide excellent feedback. It's actually really cool. So that's interesting that you've been able to find them through Instagram. But I mean, Instagram has a huge reader community, so I'm not surprised by that. I've always considered, I'm like, okay, if I do end up getting beta readers, do I pull it from the community? Do I go look for beta readers, or do I go do one of those websites? And I don't know. I think I'm going to be on a tight timeline as well. So, I mean, the book's probably going to come out at 120,000 for a fantasy book, and I'm probably going to need like a 3 to 4 week turnaround. So I'm going to have to find, if I do beta readers, I'm going to have to find beta readers who are fast readers and commit to a quick turnaround. Oh, man. Like, unfortunately, I was so prolific compared to them that it became really uneven. So I had to learn to trust myself and write without the alpha reader, only the beta reader once the draft was done. Okay, so it sounds like you were kind of able to evolve your process over time, though. I think this is why fanfic has helped me get my writing groove back. The instant feedback of the comments is such a great boost and it helps me going. Currently, each time I finish a chapter, my friend beta reads it before I post. That's actually really, really cool, Jillian. Thanks for sharing that. Penumbra, like my experience with beta readers is hashtag life happens. That's what I've heard as well. I've heard that as well from beta readers, and to only expect to hear back from a third of your total number of beta readers. It's actually kind of interesting though. I mean, like I've heard that and that makes sense, but like I put myself in the mind, like if I was going to beta read something, if I committed to beta reading something, I would read it and give feedback. It's so crazy to me that somebody would commit to something and then fall through. Like I understand life happens, but like if your life's busy, then don't commit to reading something. Just that's crazy to me, but I've heard that before. So that's interesting. But granted, I've gone throughout my life. I've like at a point in my life now where I literally only want to, I try, if I make a commitment, I really try to make sure that I follow through. Awesome. So with that being said, that is a great point in the community. By the way, before we hop into the next writing sprint, I really want to encourage you to subscribe to the Art of Writing. This is my weekly, this is my writing newsletter. If you want to receive weekly writing articles, stories, and tips, this is the newsletter for you. This is designed for beginner and intermediate writers to really help you practice the craft, learn different techniques, and then maybe kick back and read some stories. This is also for the live stream, the Right Now live stream community members. So if you want to have access to the live streams on Sundays before the live stream scheduled for the week launches, you will definitely want to submit. I post my live stream schedules on socials throughout the week, but the newsletter subscribers get the live stream schedule sooner. So for those of you who are not already signed up, subscribe now. You'll also get a free copy of the Easy Edit tool, which is a strategy that I created that will just help make the editing process easier for you. So definitely recommend. I just dropped the link down in the chat. It's also linked down in the YouTube description. So sign up for the Art of Writing. Okay, my friends. So with that being said, all right. So I'm pushing on time. So I got to adjust this to 25 minutes and I just got to finish this chapter. All right, so we'll do a third writing sprint, 25 minutes, because I got to be out of here to hop onto a meeting. So we'll do 25 minutes for writing sprint number 3. Here we go. I will throw up the music. Perfect. All right. So whether you're brainstorming, writing, or editing, that is all part of the process. Come join us for writing sprint number 3. Let's get some work, because it is time to write now. All right. I was like so stoked. I was able to finish that chapter right at the time. Ooh, I was like, I had to make sure that I wanted to end that off, that chapter on a good note. I am so happy I finished that. What a great introduction for the Pixie. So very, very happy about that. I hope you were able to get in some writing as well. Yeah, I was like, Marty, Kaufman, are you still editing The Last Scarecrow? Well, I published a book faster than you. Yes. Yeah, you definitely have a faster progress, my friend. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish I'd gotten done a little faster, but with my commitments between everything that I'm doing, my progress is a little slower, but that's awesome that you're able to make progress. So today was awesome. We were able to get in some great writing. We got 3 sprints, a bunch of writing conversations, and much, much more. As we look towards creative writing on the morrow, I'll be back tomorrow for another early sprint, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And we'll get in some more writing. I'll get to continue on with the gardens and the crazed characters that I get to embark on this strange chapter with the plants that worship the moon. It's going to be a fun chapter. So I'll get onto that tomorrow. Come back and join. But if you enjoyed the stream, tap that like button on your way out. Help us show the algorithms that writing streams are cool. Thank you all for joining today. We had some great chats, and it has been awesome. But unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers.
Right now.
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 Because it's time to write now.